friends, it's Mari Clark here for Honeybee Stamps. I have another project for Honeybee today, and I'm going to start off by showing you the different products I'm going to use from the shop. I'm going to be using one of the papers from the Great Outdoors paper pad. Just going to do a quick little flip through here and show you this awesome paper pad. It's double-sided premium cardstock. There's 24 sheets, 2 of each design, and of course you can see this is 6x6 paper. I really love this. I love that they're double-sided and you get all of those different designs. I'm also going to be using a few of the stamps from Pocket Full of Love. I'm going to use this little heart, and I'm going to be using some of the phrases here like love, kindness, and sunshine. And I just love this stamp set. I think it's super cute, and there's so many neat ways you can use that. I'm also going to be using the Love Enclosed stamp set. I'm going to be using the sending phrase, this little corner, these hearts. I'm also going to be, actually that's all I'm going to be using from that one. I'm also going to use the post box card base, and I really wanted to try to use this in a different way today. So I did some thinking about it, and the idea that I came up with is a sandwich board card. So let's get to it. I'm going to start with a piece of Neenah 110-pound cardstock. This is a really heavy duty white cardstock that's great for a card base. I've scored it for an A2 size card, and I'm just folding it there using my bone folder. And I'm going to take the main die from the post box card base die, and I'm going to cut out a sandwich board from it just using the lower 3/4 of the post box. I'm not going to cut that top that's arched. I'm going to leave that hang over the edge when I run this through my cutting machine. And so what it's going to do is cut a top folding kind of sandwich board shape. So you'll see that when it's all cut here. And I've also cut a couple of pieces of paper, a piece of black cardstock and a piece of that wood grain pattern paper from the Great Outdoors. Just shown the dimensions that I've used there. I'm just going to show you again. This is a pattern paper pad that I'm using. And I'm going to create kind of like a chalkboard effect on my sandwich board. So I'm going to layer the black paper on top of that wood grain paper to make like a little blackboard on my sandwich board here. And then I'm going to use my stamps to create the chalkboard writing. So I'm going to start off with this corner stamp from the Love Enclosed set, and I'm going to stamp it onto my black cardstock with some white pigment ink. So whatever white pigment ink you might have in your stash, just grab that and you can stamp that out, those images out using that white ink, and it is going to create that effect like it's actually chalk. Now I stamped this corner stamp out 4 different times. I'm just going to show it to you once here on camera, and I'm just then going ahead and continuing to do this exact same process. I've got this in my mini Misty. This is the new version of the Misty. It's the one that's the black, and I'm going to just stamp out this corner here. And I'm just eyeballing it, but you can use the lines on the Misty to help you line that up so that you can get it, as straight as you possibly can. I wasn't too worried about getting all of the corners in exactly the same spot in each corner so that it's symmetrical, because I felt like when you're doing a chalkboard art piece like this in real life, you're probably not going to have it all exactly the same. So now I'm going to take that little heart stamp from Pocket Full of Love, and this heart is going to act like a bullet, and I'm just showing you I'm going to use it 3 times. Before I stamp my hearts out though, I'm going to stamp out the word sending, also from Love Enclosed, and I'm going to stamp that out as kind of like the title on my sandwich board. So you've probably seen sandwich boards out in front of shops before, and they have just like little messages about what their special of the day is or all that kind of thing. It's pretty trendy right now. I feel like there's a lot of little shops that have those, and I think they're super cute. And I just thought this was a really neat way to create a trendy card design, and with products that you might not have thought about using them in this way. So hopefully this inspires you to use something that you have already in a different way. So stamping out the word sending there, that's kind of like the title on our sandwich board. And then, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and stamp out the heart, the tiny little heart, 3 times as a bullet for each of the 3 different phrases that I'm going to stamp. The phrases again come from the Pocket Full of Love stamp set, and I love these little phrases because they're on a smaller scale, which works perfectly for what I wanted to do here. Some of these same phrases are in the Love Enclosed set, but they're on a larger scale, and I wanted something smaller. So that's why I'm using the ones from that set. So I'm using love, kindness, and sunshine as my 3 little sentiments here. So I'll stamp out that little heart 3 times, and then I'll stamp the sentiments in the 3 areas that correspond with that little heart bullet. So I'm just going to place that little heart down there. It's going to stick to my fingers a little bit. I think I end up using my tweezers to help me place these stamps in the right spot. And I'm going to just close the door of the MISTI and pick that stamp up. I'm going to stamp it up again with that white pigment ink. And one thing I just wanted to caution you about with white pigment ink, if you've never used it before, is it does take a little bit longer to dry because it is a pigment ink. So you could, in theory, emboss this if you wanted. If you don't have the white ink, but perhaps you have white embossing powder, you could stamp this out with Versamark ink or with sticky embossing ink. And then you could emboss these in white if you don't have the white ink. I just like the look of the white ink because I think it looks more like chalk than an embossing powder would, so that's why I use this ink. Now you can see there's my 3 words, my little sentiments. I love these words for I just feel like this is really timely, and I have a lot of people I could send this to right now. There's a lot going on in the world. I feel like we could use all of the love and kindness and sunshine that we can possibly get, and I just thought these particular words were perfect for what I wanted to do here today. So I'm just going to show you there. I'm going to stamp out that last little heart bullet next to the word sunshine, and then all of my bullets and my words will be done. And I'll just set this aside for a couple of minutes to let it dry so that I don't end up smearing the ink when I'm continuing working on the rest of the card. And I'm just using a baby wipe to wipe up that ink on from my stamps. So now I'm just going to take a little bit of tape runner. I'm going to adhere the blackboard to the that wood grain paper, and then I'm going to add some foam adhesive to adhere this to my white sandwich board. So I'm just going to carefully make sure that I've got this lined up. I don't want to misplace this. The great thing though about repositionable tape runner is if you get it in the wrong spot, it's not the end of the world. You can just fix that up. Now I'm just going to flip this over, and I'm going to put a foam square in each corner of this board. So I'm just going to take my little foam squares here, add those to the corner. I think I'm going to also put one in the center just so that there's also just a little bit of reinforcement in the center of my piece here. And just get those all positioned, and then I'll take the release paper off the back of those foam squares and stick this down. So finish getting those off of there. And this is all in real time, ladies and gentlemen. I did not speed this up at all, so just taking my time there apparently. And so I'm just going to get this all stuck down. Like I said, I'm just going to eyeball this to get it on here straight, and that will be it for my card. I really like how this turned out. You know, we can take a lot of the stamps and dies that we have in our stash and figure out some kind of different, unique ways and interesting ways to use them to come up with something a little bit different. So there you can see how that stands. And my card's going to be finished. Please make sure you check the description box below for the links to the Honeybee shop and all of the products that I used today from the shop. And you can just see there how I finished off with the little hearts, that heart stamp from the Love Enclosed stamp set there on the inside of my card. And there's some still shots, and that is my card today. Thank you so much, guys, for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Hope you stay well, stay healthy, and take care. Bye-bye.